You're probably trying out Grok for the first time and wondering if it's actually worth it compared to ChatGPT or Gemini. Well, I spent weeks testing Grok 4.1, pushing it through every writing task, meme generation, and creative challenge I could think of. Here's what I found. And it surprised me. Grok doesn't just compete with the big players, it does some things they simply can't touch. Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get the most out of Grok 4.1, from writing content that actually sounds human, to generating memes that land, to tapping into real-time Twitter data that other AIs can't access. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which prompts work, which don't, and how to avoid the mistakes I made early on. First up, let's talk about what actually makes Grok different. What makes Grok stand out? Here's the thing about Grok that caught me off guard. Unlike ChatGPT or Gemini, Grok is wired directly into Twitter, now called X. That means when you ask it about trending topics or breaking news, it's not guessing from old training data. It's pulling real-time information right from the stream. That's a game changer for anyone creating content about current events or monitoring trends. But wait, there's something else. Grok was built with personality, like actual personality. While other AIs are trying to be helpful assistants, Grok was designed to be witty, a little rebellious, and genuinely creative. One content creator I follow put it perfectly. They said Grok's creative writing sounds like a person would actually write it, not like an AI trying to sound human. That's a massive difference when you're creating content that needs to connect. And here's where it gets interesting. Grok just added an image generation engine called Aurora. Now, I've tested a lot of AI image generators, and Aurora does something special with photorealistic rendering and text generation inside images. You can literally create memes with proper text overlays, which sounds simple until you realize how many AI tools completely butcher text in images. The real power combo, though? Real-time data plus creative personality plus image generation. That's not something you get with the other tools, at least not all in one place. The secret to better prompts. Now let me tell you what I learned the hard way about prompting Grok. For my first week, I was treating it like any other chatbot, throwing vague requests at it and getting mediocre results. Write about marketing. Generate a meme about work. You know, the lazy prompts we all use when we're in a hurry. Then I started testing something different. I began treating Grok like I was briefing a real writer or designer. And that's when everything changed. Here's the framework that transformed my results. Instead of saying, write about marketing, I started saying things like, you're writing a friendly guide for small restaurant owners who have never sent a marketing email before. See the difference? One prompt is a topic. The other is a complete brief with audience, context, and purpose. But there's a twist with Grok that makes it even more powerful. Remember that rebellious personality I mentioned? You can lean into it or shut it off depending on what you need. Want humor? Tell Grok to explain something like a sarcastic AI from a sci-fi movie. Need formality? Say, explain this in a formal, academic tone, and it'll dial back the jokes. That flexibility is something you don't always get with other tools that lock you into one personality. Now here's something most people miss about Grok 4.1. It actually has two different thinking modes. There's a fast mode for quick answers and a deep thinking mode for complex tasks. For simple questions or quick drafts, stick with the fast mode. But when you need serious analysis or creative brainstorming, switch to what they call think mode and watch the quality jump. And this next part will save you so much frustration. Don't try to nail it on the first prompt. Start with something basic, then refine based on what you get back. For example, I asked Grok, "What is blockchain?" and got this massive, overwhelming explanation. So I followed up with, "That was useful but too general. Now explain how blockchain is used in supply chain management, with one real example in 150 words. Boom. Perfect answer. This iterative approach prevents those moments where Grok goes off on a tangent or misses your actual intent. Let me show you what bad versus good actually looks like in practice. Bad prompt. Write about AI. You'll get a generic essay that could have come from anywhere. Good prompt. You're writing a fun blog post for college students about how AI can help in daily life. Use a casual tone and include one humorous example about avoiding homework procrastination. Same topic, completely different quality of output. Real examples, writing and Q&A. All right, let's get practical. I'm going to show you actual prompts that work, starting with creative writing. Say you need a story intro or blog opening. You could ask, write a 200-word introduction to a sci-fi story where an AI becomes president. With Grok's creative engine, you'll get something vivid and engaging. Not that dry, formulaic stuff you sometimes get from other AIs. Here's what makes this work. Grok 4.1 was praised by multiple reviewers for producing narratives that genuinely sound human. But you still need to guide it. Tell it the tone, the setting. Maybe even drop in a reference point like, in the style of a Black Mirror episode, or with the pacing of a thriller novel opening. Those little details keep it on track. Now let's talk about using Grok for research and Q&A, because this is where that real-time Twitter connection becomes crucial. Try asking, what are the latest trends in renewable energy from X? Grok will actually scan Twitter and recent web articles to give you current information. But here's the catch, and this is important. Grok can make more factual errors than ChatGPT according to some testing. So when accuracy matters, tell it to use DeepSearch mode or ask it to cite specific sources. That extra step helps filter out hallucinations. I learned this lesson when I asked Grok about some recent tech policy changes. First answer was confident, but slightly off. Then I reprompted with, search X and verified news sources for the latest updates on this and cite your sources. The second answer was not only more accurate, it came with actual links I could verify. That's the kind of refinement that separates okay results from genuinely useful information. Creating images and memes. Okay, this is where Grok gets really fun. The Aurora image generation model is honestly one of the coolest features, and I've been using it nonstop for content creation. Aurora was trained on billions of images, and it's particularly good at following detailed instructions, including generating text inside images, which is perfect for memes. Let me walk you through a real example. I asked Grok to generate a 2-panel office meme about remote work with a witty caption. What came back was this perfect image of a dog in pajamas on a video call with coffee everywhere. The caption was actually funny, and more importantly, the text was readable. That's not a given with AI image tools. Most of them completely mess up text rendering. Here's another test I ran that shows how specific you can get. I prompted, create a 3-panel comic-style meme about working from home, featuring a frustrated cat character with sarcastic captions. Grok nailed it. The panels had proper comedic timing, the cat looked appropriately annoyed, and the captions had that perfect deadpan delivery. This is what happens when you give detailed instructions instead of vague requests. But wait, here's a pro tip that nobody talks about. You can also just ask Grok to write meme captions without generating images. Sometimes you have an image but need the perfect caption. Try write a witty meme caption about Mondays and coffee in the style of millennial humor. You'll get instant options that actually sound natural, not forced. The key to getting good image results is being descriptive about what you want. Don't just say, make a meme about work. Say format, 2-panel meme, subject, exhausted office worker, style, realistic photo, tone, sarcastic, caption about too many Zoom meetings. That level of detail tells Aurora exactly what to create, and the results speak for themselves. One thing I discovered through testing, Grok can even edit existing images and add text to them natively. So if you've got a photo but want to turn it into a meme, you can upload it and ask Grok to add text or make modifications. That's a workflow game changer for content creators. The prompting principles that always work. Let me break down the core principles I've discovered through hundreds of prompts. These work regardless of what you're asking Grok to do. First, specificity wins every time. More detail equals better output. When you mention the audience, tone, format, and any constraints up front, Grok has everything it needs to deliver exactly what you want. Vague prompts get vague results. It's that simple. Second, lean into or against Grok's personality, depending on your needs. Want humor and creativity? Explicitly tell it to be playful, witty, or sarcastic. Need something serious and professional? Say formal tone, no humor, and it'll adjust. That personality flexibility is actually one of Grok's biggest advantages, but only if you remember to use it. Third, experiment with the special modes. Deep search when you need fresh, verified data. Think mode when you're working on complex analysis. Voice mode when you're on mobile and want hands-free Q&A. Each mode has a specific strength, and knowing when to use which one multiplies your effectiveness. And finally, embrace iteration. Your first prompt rarely gets you the perfect result, and that's okay. Think of it as a conversation. Get the first response, see what's missing or off, then refine your follow-up. That's close, but make it shorter and add more specific examples about X. This back and forth is how you go from good to great. These aren't complicated tricks. They're just about being intentional with your prompts instead of hoping the AI reads your mind. Advanced creative writing techniques. Now let's talk about using Grok for serious creative work. Essays, poetry, scripts, that kind of thing. Grok is particularly strong at creative tasks when you unleash its fun mode, but you still need to guide it properly. Here's a technique that consistently works. Provide examples or reference points in your prompt. Instead of just saying, write a poem, try write a poem in the style of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy about a lonely robot. That cultural reference gives Grok a clear target, and by the way, the name Grok itself is a hitchhiker's reference, so it's kind of perfect for this. Another approach that I've found powerful, ask Grok to describe a scene first, then turn it into narrative. For instance, describe a futuristic city skyline at sunset in vivid detail. Once you get that description, follow up with, now use that description to write the opening paragraph of a dystopian novel. This two-step process helps ensure the writing has rich, concrete details instead of generic description. Here's something most people don't know about Grok. It can actually maintain context across long conversations and even handle uploaded documents. You can upload a PDF of your brand style guide or previous writing samples, and Grok will reference that to match your voice. That consistency is huge for content creators who need everything to sound cohesive. One reviewer noted that Grok's creative writing is very detailed and explicit compared to other AIs. That means when you ask for a character description or a scene, you get real depth, not just surface-level stuff. But you have to ask for that depth. Don't be shy about saying, give me extremely detailed descriptions, or make this vivid and sensory. Using Grok for research and fact-checking. When it comes to research and knowledge questions, Grok's real-time Twitter connection is both a superpower and something you need to be careful with. Let me explain what I mean. The superpower part is obvious. You can get current information that other AIs simply don't have access to. Ask about trending topics, recent news, or emerging discussions, and Grok can pull from the live stream. That's incredible for content creators who need to comment on current events or track industry trends. But here's the careful part. Some testing has shown that Grok can make more factual errors than ChatGPT, especially when it comes to established facts versus trending information. So when accuracy really matters, like for academic work or professional research, you need to add verification steps to your prompts. The way I handle this is simple. I ask Grok to cite sources and be explicit about where information comes from. Summarize the latest AI regulation proposals and cite your sources from Grokopedia or verified news outlets. That extra instruction makes Grok much more careful about fact-checking itself. Another trick. Use Grok for initial research and direction finding, then verify the key facts separately. It's great for discovering angles and getting the lay of the land, but don't skip the verification step for anything important. Think of it as your research assistant, not your sole source of truth. For homework help or learning, Grok can be fantastic, as long as you're asking it to explain concepts rather than just give you answers. Explain how photosynthesis works using a metaphor about factories is going to teach you more than what is photosynthesis, because you're forcing it to make the concept memorable and understandable. Why Grok might be your secret weapon. So after weeks of testing, here's what I've come to realize about when Grok is the right tool. It's not about Grok being better than ChatGPT or Gemini across the board. It's about what Grok does that nothing else quite matches. The real-time social media connectivity means you're getting fresh perspectives and current information without the lag. The creative personality means your content sounds less like AI-generated slop and more like something a real person would write. The image generation with proper text handling means you can create memes and visual content without juggling multiple tools. And the flexibility to switch between fun and formal means you're not locked into one voice. But here's what really matters. The platform is less important than your prompting skills. A well-crafted Grok prompt will beat a generic ChatGPT prompt every single time. The inverse is also true. Lazy prompts get lazy results regardless of which AI you're using. That's why everything I've shown you today matters. Being specific, leveraging personality modes, using special features like DeepSearch and Think mode, iterating on your prompts. These techniques work because they're about being intentional. You're not just hoping the AI understands what's in your head. You're explicitly telling it what you want, how you want it, and who it's for. If I had to give you one piece of advice after all this testing, it would be this. Experiment. Try different prompt structures. Test the various modes. See what happens when you give Grok more context versus less. The gap between people who get amazing results from AI and people who get mediocre results isn't about which tool they use. It's about how they use it. Grok 4.1 is a genuinely versatile tool with some unique capabilities that make it particularly good for creative work, real-time content, and anything that benefits from a less filtered, more personality-driven approach. But it's only as good as the prompts you give it. So use what you've learned here. Be specific, lean into the personality when it helps, and don't be afraid to refine your prompts until you get exactly what you need. That's how you go from just using AI to actually getting value from it. If this video helped you understand Grok better, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you're planning to create with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.